The Tale of the Tape brought to you by Performance Inspired, the all-natural high-performance line of sports nutrition trusted by athletes and health enthusiasts. Visit pi-nutrition.com. Omielanczuk, 34 years old. Curtis Razor Blaydes, still just 26. He is taller by 4 inches. 248 pounds for Omielanczuk, 257, and a hook for Blaydes, who will have a 6-inch reach advantage. All right, with that, we now go inside the octagon for the official introductions to Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC heavyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record, 6 wins, 1 loss, 1 no contest. He stands 6 feet 4 inches tall, weighing in at 257 1/2 pounds. Fighting out of Chicago, Illinois, Curtis Razor Blaydes. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record, 19 wins, 7 losses, 1 draw, 1 no contest. He stands 6 feet tall, weighing in at 248 pounds. Fighting out of Warsaw, Poland, Daniel Omielanczuk. And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Mark Goddard.
Mark Goddard, third man in the octagon for this one. The lovely Vanessa Hansen getting us started for round 1. Thank you, B. Ready to go. Here with this featured bout in the UFC's heavyweight division, which is wide open at present here in 2017. Daniel Omielanczuk in black and Curtis Blaydes in blue. The fight clock is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you.
By far, this is the best physical shape we've ever seen Curtis Blaydes in. He is much leaner than previous fights we've seen him.
And Blaydes says he does keep the focus on himself largely, but focused on southpaw defense.
That's good in the thigh, that's good.
In advance of this one against Omielanczuk.
Interesting, Omielanczuk was complaining about a low knee, but that one was low.
Yeah,
I mean, that's 100%. The other one went the inside of the thigh. Mark Goddard said it's good, and I guess Curtis Blaydes got a little confident.
You tell me you're good. You tell me you're good. Listen, I'm going to take that front position away. That's twice that it's gone in there now. I know it's unintentional, but you had front position. I'm going to restart you neutral, okay? Think about the knees. Come out, gents. Come out. Pick those knees. Climb in. Let's go.
Well explained there by Goddard. He takes away the dominant position from Blaydes. It's just remarkable how some of these young athletes make improvements over 18 months or so. I mean, Curtis Blaydes looks like a totally different striker.
But he's just an outstanding athlete. I mean, look at the horsepower that guy's carrying in his legs. Look at this, Omielanczuk looking for the neck. And Blaydes got him up against the cage, which is where he said in the pre-fight videos that he wanted to get him. He wanted to control him, wear him out, avoid the brawling with Omielanczuk.
A lot of the videos Dwayne Ludwig's posted of his work with Curtis Blaydes, the combinations, the footwork, everything so much improved.
Well, if you haven't had enough action for one night, head to the App Store or Google Play Store and download EA Sports UFC Mobile for free to join the millions of fans that are already playing the game.
A solid takedown defense so far from Omielanczuk. He's really worked hard on his wrestling, and not an easy thing to do, but had to travel far and wide all over Poland to find the right guys to train with. And it looks like he's paying off so far.
Well, as mixed martial arts becomes more popular, you're seeing higher and higher level wrestling coming out of these places that we don't traditionally know as wrestling-heavy states or wrestling-heavy countries.
Omielanczuk very much a willing striker, willing to be hit, as Joe alluded to earlier. Under 3 minutes here to go, round 1.
I'll tell you what, Omielanczuk has some really beautiful kicks that catch you off guard. Very flexible for a guy built like that. We rarely get to see him because he faces guys like Curtis Blaydes or his last fight, Tim Johnson, guys who want to take him down.
Good kick to the body right there.
Beautiful. And the Omielanczuk camp was very confident that they'd be able to keep this fight upright and stop Blaydes' takedowns here tonight. So far, Razor Blaydes 0 for 2 unofficially.
We've seen Blaydes run through guys. I mean, this fight against Adam Milstead, I mean, Milstead could not stop the takedowns at all. Drove through him like a truck. Omielanczuk doing an excellent job using that right overhook, or the whizzer as we call it, and then fighting with the opposite arm to either get an underhook, or now he's fighting underneath the chin.
2 minutes now to go in round one.
Nice knee to the body by Blaydes.
Blaydes working with Dwayne Bang Ludwig, as Brian mentioned, about 3 times a week during this training camp. A feint heavy attack here tonight.
Blaydes is consistently looking for the takedown against the fence. He also has a very good power double that he showed off in that Ngannou fight. I think he'd be better off trying some of these takedowns in the open mat.
Yeah, we're seeing really impressive takedown defense by Omielanczuk. I mean, he knew what he was getting into coming into this fight, and he really is prepared well.
Yeah, and this is an area where when he fought Omielanczuk, I mean, he got taken down against the fence many, many times in that fight. Massive improvements, but he still has to create space, capitalize more, because with his back on the fence this much, typically judges are going to give this round to Curtis Blaydes.
And it's also probably got to motivate him now, knowing Omielanczuk just beat a top 10 heavyweight tonight.
Right.
And, you know, probably emerged as one of the top 10 guys himself now.
You can see.
This is a huge opportunity for him with, you know, a massive favorite in Curtis Blaydes.
Let's make it work,
And
gentlemen.
sometimes
You
when you
want to
get
stay there,
athletes like
stay busy,
Blaydes, and
please.
they're
Stay
learning
active.
so many new techniques, and they're getting better, there's learning curves, and there's times where it slows them down. You've learned so much new stuff that you're thinking a little bit in there, and you're fighting a little bit slower.
Again, good takedown defense.
Really a forced attempt from Curtis Blaydes, not setting these up well.
I like that Omielanczuk is still throwing those kicks to the body, even though he knows the threat of the takedown is there.
Yeah.
Caught him there.
Tonight's Corner Cam is brought to you by Performance Inspired, the all-natural high-performance line of sports nutrition trusted by athletes and health enthusiasts. Visit pi-nutrition.com.
Do you want to sit?
Słuchaj, musisz iść w niego.
You must go for him.
Ja wiem, bo dużo bardzo broniłeś i wybroniłeś bardzo ładnie, ale musisz zaboksować.
You defended many takedowns,
Mamy drugą
but you need to
rundę, nie
defend
możesz
more.
przystawać.
You need to
Musisz
box more.
pierwszy bić, bo on skraca
Don't
i idzie z
stop.
tobą
You
na
need to be
siatkę,
first to
cię
hit
męczy.
him. He will
Nie
try
czekaj,
to tire you
schodź
down
prawo, schodź
on
do
the
przodu,
fence.
nie cofaj się też w linii, schodź na bok.
Don't go back, get back to the
Luźniej na
line.
nogach. Prawy cios, zacznij od lewy,
Start with right,
lewy
finish
prosty,
with the
prawy
left.
sierp, tam masz miejsce. Lewy hak, prawy sierp, okej?
He's getting his head lower than you on the fence. So I need your head on his jaw or on his neck so that he can't get under you. Whatever side you come on, head on the same side, okay?
You can draw at the end of the time, please.
Let's go, boys, let's go. Good sound, baby. Good
You're
sound,
winning the
good
striking.
sound.
Trust it.
Towel. Let's drive.
That was UFC veteran Cody Donovan with the final instructions for Curtis Blaydes. Chrissy Blair is in the building tonight.
Back.
So Blaydes unofficially 0 for 5 on the takedown attempts in round one. Good sign, Brian, for Daniel Omielanczuk, but he had to work hard defensively.
He did, but I got to feel like he pulled some confidence from the end of round one. You know, he landed some nice knees, even with his back on the fence. Was able to throw some kicks as well and wasn't taken down from him. Like to see him open up more when he's got space like he does right now.
Yeah, he's got that very good left kick to the body that Omielanczuk keeps landing. And Blaydes, a nice knee to the body and a right hand behind it.
And I like the adjustment for Blaydes. Open up, throw your own combinations. The takedowns aren't working. Switch it up now.
And again, Omielanczuk using the fence to his advantage. Got a little winch there out of Curtis Blaydes, but he bails on the choke.
You know, it's interesting, Brian. Like, Omielanczuk is very confident up against the cage, stopping the takedown. And Curtis Blaydes has not been able to do anything about it, but he's not adjusting. He's not making any changes. It's difficult to figure out whether he's trying to just wear him down or whether he's just kind of stuck.
And I think sometimes fighters, when they're in there, they find a comfort zone.
Right.
Where, hey, you know what? I can't get punched by this guy who throws heavy. I'm safe here.
I would like Omielanczuk to continue to open up with that left kick to the body because it is fast and it's powerful. And in this position, you know, he's throwing it from the southpaw stance. It opens up and he's going right at the liver.
Man, that right hand is pretty low at Curtis Blaydes. I mean, I've seen Omielanczuk execute high kicks. He's flexible enough to do it. Don't know if he's got the gas in his tank right now to do it, but try to wrap that leg over the right hand of Curtis Blaydes.
I think that's the issue, Bryce, just fighting that fatigue. Just over 3 minutes here to go, round 2. Blaydes has worked very hard on his cardio, and to your point, Brian, the physique shows it.
Yeah, and you know, training at altitude, big advantage for him as well. Living at altitude now. Good balance there from Olenek.
Blaydes working off that jab, trying to close the distance here. Oh, nice knee.
Again with a knee.
Significant strikes, slightest of advantages for Poland's Omielanczuk. 2.5 to go here, round 2. A lot of exhausting clinch work here.
You know, it's interesting, even if he has a significant strike advantage, we know that Curtis Blaydes is the one that's pushing the attack, controlling the center of the octagon, and continually pressing Omielanczuk up against the cage.
Yeah, traditionally, we will see rounds like this score in Blaydes' favor, but two minutes left. Omielanczuk still has time to try and steal this round.
Yeah,
he opens up.
These are very close rounds. I mean, there's not a lot going on.
Blaydes continuing to show some different looks, now changes levels again, but once again up against the fence.
It was a big telegraph for that shot.
Yeah, he did at least, that was the deepest he got into the hips of Omielanczuk and still failed. And what you're seeing, and the reason why this is slow, is you got one guy, Omielanczuk, so concerned with the takedowns of Blaydes, and then Blaydes, just a young guy who's learned a lot in the last year of his training, and all that new knowledge sometimes slows fighters down. There's a lull in their fight pace when you're learning so much. You know, personally, I certainly went through that early in my UFC career.
Pretty good head movement there from Daniel Omielanczuk. Just over a minute to go here, round 2. And if you told him at this point in the fight that he would have stopped all 9 takedowns from Blaydes, he probably would have taken it. Unfortunately, he has been rendered defensive for most of this fight.
There's that left kick to the body again, but to Curtis Blaydes' credit, he really hasn't shown any signs of that hurting him.
And Blaydes needs to open up more. Now's time, you know, all the videos of hitting pads and all that other stuff is great, but if you can't come in here in the octagon and execute it.
Stop. Curtis, come here. Stay
Kick
there. Stay there. Listen, come here, my friend. Come here. Come here. Listen, stay there. Talk. Curtis, look. Listen, I need you to think about this target. You're going to put me in a compromising spot. I know it's, let me speak. I know it's unintentional. Think about that target, okay? Think about the target. I can't tell you what to do, but think about what you're doing. All right? Are you okay? We're good. We're good. Turn in. Ready? Let's go. Time in.
Mark Goddard is an excellent referee. He really is.
Thought he handled that beautifully. Stern warning, didn't take a point away.
Curtis is, I don't like that. I don't like him reaching like that from the outside.
It's weird. I mean, previous fights, he's definitely shown better takedown attempts than that. That was telegraphed from way too far out and really high.
There's a lot of excess movement in his punching as well. I mean, what I'm seeing is fatigue, Brian. All right, let's take a look at some of the action from that second round. There's a good jab by Curtis, and there's another one. And he catches him with his knee coming in really well timed by Omielanczuk.
Musisz z niego pójść, jeśli chcesz to wygrać. On wisi na tobie, z tego nic
You
nie
have to
wynika, ale
attack
ty
if
tak
you
nie
want to
wygrasz.
win. He's hanging on you.
Musisz
There's
pracować,
nothing
musisz
going on
niego,
from
chcesz
it,
to,
but he's winning
musisz
that.
to skończyć.
You need to finish him.
Nie pojedyncza
Do you
akcja.
understand? Not a
Lewy
single
hak, prawy
punches.
sierp,
Go
lewy
combo.
prosty, prawy sierp.
Left
Lewy
jab,
prosty,
right
prawy
hook.
sierp, lewy hak. To, co robisz, to
Left jab,
to
right
ty
hook,
jesteś
left jab.
przygotowany.
That's what we
Musisz
train
tak
for.
pracować, jeśli chcesz to wygrać.
You need to
Musisz
work
niego
if you
pójść, rozumiesz?
if you want to win. You have to go for
Nie
him.
wybij, prawo nie skocz na siatkę. Idź w niego.
Well, guys, got to think that's the message and the urgency you want to see in that Omielanczuk corner. He has stopped all 10 takedowns, but Blaydes gets credit for that, even though they've been telegraphed. He's been the one forcing the issue. We'll see if Omielanczuk can get the combinations going.
Brian, if you're in Blaydes' corner, what are you telling him right now?
I'm telling him, look, it's time to open up. The takedowns aren't there. You're longer. You've trained a ton of striking. Start to open up, throw your own kicks, your own punches, but do it at your range.
He's still, oh, he got tagged.
Yeah.
He still seems vulnerable in these striking exchanges. He leaves these openings. Ooh. Ooh. What we had hoped coming into this fight was that Curtis, who's this young, very promising contender, was going to be tested. And we're seeing that tonight.
Certainly. And again, I mean, there's just a huge transition from being able to look good on pads, look good in drills, and then doing it live against world-class opposition.
And we're seeing him lose body fat. We're seeing him look more fit, but it looks like there's still some work to be done.
Fight fans, check out the UFC store on your mobile device. Get your favorite fighter gear and more. Shop now. Receive 15% off during tonight's fight. Use code UFC213 and start saving today.
Omielanczuk, I mean, best takedown defense we've ever seen from him.
Absolutely.
And that was a massive focus coming into this one. Put a check in that box. Unfortunately, his offense has been largely muted because he's been the defender.
And sometimes you start to rack those successes up in your head, and it limits the rest of your offense. Ooh, I defended that takedown. Ooh, I defended that. Instead of focusing on your own offense. Here are the times now Omielanczuk needs to let loose. When Blaydes throws one strike at a time, it takes him a while to get the hand back. I mean, it's kind of sloppy. There's holes there.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. And I'd like to see Omielanczuk go to that body more. When the guy's this tired, you see Curtis Blaydes taking his big, deep breaths. Omielanczuk has powerful shots. I'd like to see him go to that body. Don't just headhunt.
Yeah, and especially with the body kick we saw earlier in the fight.
3 minutes now to go in this third and final round. Omielanczuk able to land that right hand partially over the top. We'll see how much he has left here to try to stage a rally. Blaydes appears to be the fresher fighter here late.
I mean, what we're getting out of this is that Blaydes is a work in progress.
Absolutely.
A very talented work in progress, a very promising work in progress.
8 pro fights.
Yeah.
Right? And
26 years old.
5 of those fights, as I said earlier, training at a gym with a bunch of, high school and college buddies, not professional mixed martial artists, no real professional coaching. He was coaching himself.
It was a good right hand there by Blaydes.
Pretty significant mouse there under the right eye. Daniel Omielanczuk, that jab won't help that.
Nice jab.
He's being smarter now, though. Yeah. He's not going in the pocket where he got tagged by Omielanczuk earlier in the round. Why risk it?
There's a kick to the body again by Omielanczuk. If I was Omielanczuk's coach, I'd be screaming for that kick.
Yeah, body kick. You can look for the high kick. Anything you can do, man. But he's got to land the home run right now.
He landed the left hand there. Ooh. And Blaydes gets caught. You see those instincts to go for that takedown. Oh, wow.
Desperation shot from Omielanczuk.
Wait a minute. Hard elbows here by Blaydes, but Omielanczuk still holding on to that leg. He's got that ankle turned up. If he can complete this takedown, Blaydes is stuffing it so far and punishing the body. Omielanczuk stepping over with that left leg.
And the thought process there for Omielanczuk, maybe if I can get a surprise takedown here, maybe I could steal this round. And maybe in his mind, he thinks that he maybe won round 2.
If he spins, he's got it. Oh, almost. Knee.
Blaydes able to get that right arm up to prevent any damage from that strike. So final minute here, 42 seconds and counting. Daniel Omielanczuk, razor blades whipped on that jab. Not the body language you're looking for from Omielanczuk, flat-footed, mouth open.
Side kick to the leg.
A little bit of a staring contest going on here down the stretch.
Whoa. don't expect that out of a guy that's built like that.
Spinning wheel kick from a human fire hydrant. Yeah.
Tagged him with that right hand.
So a cracking right from Omielanczuk at the end of the fight. He and Curtis Razor Blaydes go the distance tonight. This fight replay is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you.
There you see a good knee to the body by Blaydes and a good kick to the body by Omielanczuk. This is that perfectly timed knee. Beautiful timing there by Omielanczuk. Blaydes on the attack, catches him on the very end of that right hand. And a show of respect at the end. How do you call it, Brian?
You got to think that Blaydes controlled the pace of that fight. Got to think he's got at least 2 rounds, potentially even all 3. But, you know, good learnings from this guy with 8 fights, taking a guy with over 30.
This fight summary brought to you by Performance Inspire, the all-natural high-performance line of sports nutrition trusted by athletes and health enthusiasts. Visit pi-nutrition.com. So, significant strikes. Curtis Blaydes wins the day there. Takedowns attempted 14. Didn't land any of them, but he was certainly trying. Clinch control time, more than a round for Curtis Razor Blaydes. The official decision is brought to you by Metro PCS, who brings you closer than ever to the UFC on a fast nationwide 4G LTE network. Here now, Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for decision. All 3 judges score the contest 30-27 for the winner by unanimous decision, Curtis Razor Blaydes.
I'm here with the winner, Curtis Blaydes. Curtis, you are a young, promising prospect, and when you have a young, promising prospect, you want to see them tested against a really tough guy like Omielanczuk. How do you feel this fight went?
I feel I should have did better on my feet. I know I can do better than that. I went to my wrestling a little too early. It didn't work out. He was ready for my wrestling, made me stand and bang, which is obviously his game plan, and I made it through though. I beat him at his own game.
You did make it through, and for a young guy like you, these fights are learning experiences. What do you feel like you learned from this victory?
I got to work on my hands a little bit longer. I think he was a southpaw. I wasn't that comfortable going against southpaws. I really don't get to spar against many of them, so I was really cautious, and I think that bit me in the ass a little bit.
Well, the most important thing is you won, you move forward. Congratulations. We look forward to seeing improvement from you in the future. Curtis Blaydes, ladies and gentlemen.